take that off.
So I'm not transmitting any audio, just a carrier. See how well that works.
Last time I saw you doing this, didn't you have to like switch between the transmitting and like non-transmitting?
I have no idea. You doing that one?
Yeah.
But on here, you just push the button.
Didn't you say that when you like spin the tile to like go to a different frequency, it goes to like a different frequency, but like it goes the same speed?
I don't know what you mean.
Like you said that one, when you spin the dial fast, it goes fast.
When you turn it fast, it goes even faster than what you're turning it. It has 3 different speeds. Depending on how fast you turn the dial is how fast it goes. Sort of. Yeah, except the switches automatically.
Yeah.
Good evening. This is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I welcome you to the 2 a.m. net. The purpose of this net is to promote the use of amplitude modulation, and also to establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. Everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and to transmit in FM. If you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kcs above or below from our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I will now begin accepting check-ins. Any stations wishing to check in, please come now.
This is Kilo Sierra, Niner, Quebec. This is November 9, Foxtrot, Sierra, Echo. N9CXK.
Well, you guys are all coming in a different order than normal, but that's okay. Recognizing and welcoming KS9Q Jim, N9FSE Steve, and N9CXK Carol. Do we have anybody else? Come now, please.
Whiskey Bravo 9, Bravo Whiskey Papa.
Got one more. Recognizing Dave, WB9BWP. Welcome to the net. Do we have anybody else? All right, hearing none. Well, I got to say that's the fastest start we've had in a very long time. Very, very long time. I cannot remember the last time we started this net in this way. But that's okay. Well, here we are in daylight saving time, which I wish we would stay in year-round. And I do not have too much to report. Busy with work around here as usual. We do have a MRAC meeting this Saturday, I believe, and the Jefferson Swap meet on Sunday. I will not be able to attend the club meeting this week due to some extracurricular school activity. And then Sunday I may or may not be working, so I don't know. Maybe I'll go to the Hamfest, maybe I will not. We will see. And unfortunately, I don't recall too much else to talk about at this point. But we'll go to the top of the list. Jim, KS9Q, it's your turn from KC9UDX.
Okay, KC9UDX and the net. This is KS9Q. A good evening to everybody. Sue and I just finished dinner and we were watching a little bit of a Harry Potter movie. I've been running through that series. And down in the basement shack here, been doing some work on the basement shack, a little bit of arranging of equipment to try to make things a little bit more efficient, easier to get to, make it look a little nicer, and I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way there. Got a couple of more things to do in terms of just some cleaning up some wiring and adding a couple of more RF lines. We added some switching for the VHF UHF radio. Brought the 220 radio down here. So been working a little bit here, a little bit there, and slowly it's getting done. Got a couple of other projects that I've been working on. I picked up a pack rat, a PC pack rat TNC, and pretty much rebuilt that, realigned it, and going to give it a test, and then either use it or we'll either use it or not, depending on what my radio's native capabilities are. At this point, it was just kind of a fun project. Anyway, that's what's been going on for this go-around. We'll turn it back to net. This is KS9Q.
All right, thank you, Jim. Fine business. I, too, have been sort of starting to rearrange things here in the shack. Mostly it's been getting messier in the process of trying to clean things up, but I do intend to do a major change in here and move things around a lot. We'll see. And the pack rat, I wonder if that is RS-232 or USB or what it is. I'm not familiar with that one. I probably used to be. I don't know too much about that stuff anymore. I have a couple of TNCs here, and I don't even recall what they are. I'd have to find them, and I don't see them sitting around here. As you can imagine, none of my radios have any such capability, so I do need something like that if I'm going to do that kind of stuff. And I always planned to, and I have never gotten around to it. And of course, I have a computer on the desk here. It's a Commodore 64 ready to plug into one of those TNCs. Whatever I have two of the same, and one of them went up in smoke the first time I plugged it in. I believe I bought them at a Hamfest. Somebody might have given them to me too. I'm not even sure. It's been so long. Anyway, we'll go next to Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
Good evening to the assembled masses here. Good to hear that everything's still here in my absence. Missing here since November was my last check-in according to my logs here. And in December we're getting ready for ski season, and so I wasn't feeling it so much then. Well, it's coming around for the Christmas season, and then definitely January and February we're just starting to get better. January, for more than the whole month, we were stuck with some sort of a walking respiratory ailment, and wasn't doing good from Christmas time on, but still I was able to meet work and volunteer obligations, but anything beyond that I just didn't have the energy to invest in, so I decided to skip those nights of the 2 a.m. net. So happy to be back though, good to hear everybody. Just last weekend we participated, even in my position at the NIGMT Superstation for the contest, we worked Dave, who's coming up in a couple here, and it was good to hear him out there. So that was fun on Sunday. I wanted to get some skiing in before that, but still running out of, still trying to bring back all the energy. So last year we did some skiing before up at Nordic, but not this year. I skied Saturday as usual, and scheduled again for this Saturday, although we'll see what that upcoming weather maker, rainstorm, big wind, and all that's coming around Friday night and Saturday. We'll see how we how the area and everything else manages with that kind of debacle. And for next round, I got a few Swap-Fest announcements, and already somebody mentioned Jim. I know. Matt said he didn't know if he was going to make it or not, but we've been hoping that we're not too worn out on from Saturday night, that Sunday will take in the nice Jefferson. That's usually one that I don't miss. So with that, back up to Nat. From the Big Stick, this is N9FSE. And you did a major bunch of announcements on one DMR and West Side. Back to that, N9FSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. Fine business. Thank you for the advertisements. And sorry to hear you under the weather. I can certainly appreciate that. About a month ago, right at the probably the best time for me to go skiing, I had some kind of flu or something, and it was probably the sickest I've been in decades. But I seem to be mostly recovered from that. Unfortunately, I have not gone skiing at all this year. Between work and that illness, I have not had a single opportunity. And hate to say it, but I'll probably just end up putting the skis back in storage for the summer, getting the fishing stuff out. But we will see. And I have not been to the Jefferson Hamfest in, I couldn't even say how long. It's been a very long time. So I would kind of like to go again, although I have a few things I would like to purchase. I do not have any money for that at the moment. So it would probably be better if I didn't go. But I guess I'll decide that on Thursday, whether I end up volunteering at work or if I even can, and depending whatever else happens this weekend. And with that, we'll go to Carol and 9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the net, N9CXK. All right, everybody's sounding really good tonight. I can hear everyone just like they were sitting here with me. Very nice. I was going to try to get my amplifier out for tonight, but I didn't get that far. And as far as fishing goes, well, in front of my house now it's half ice and half water. So in the last week or so I got my tent off the ice and got it all cleaned up, and I got all the fishing gear in the basement, just getting that all cleaned up, stuck back in the bucket. That'll have to go up in the attic of the garage. So I don't think there'll be any more ice fishing. Boy, oh boy. Seemed to go pretty fast when it started melting. And that's the end of that. So, what else? Didn't see the aurora when they said it might have been out. I looked a couple of nights there. I didn't see anything, but the space weather woman was sure jumping up and down, saying that you better be looking, and there's a lot of activity, and there's a lot of activity. Boy, it's really working some magic on 75 meters in the morning. I'll tell you that. Some days there's nobody there. Some days it's all long distance. Yeah, some really unusual conditions. What else? We've been mostly last week or so, been running around with the dog. She had to go to the emergency vet a couple of times. And that's kind of all settled for now. She's doing much better. She's back to herself. Just kind of crossing our fingers that we're getting the right cocktail of medicines for her. But never really sure. It seemed like it was good. It was good for almost a year, and then she started having seizures again. Now we're watching carefully. But we've been outside quite a bit. Been outside picking up getting rid of the last of the Christmas stuff, putting it away, and then getting out some spring stuff and working around the yard just a bit. I did drag out all my Hamfest boxes, and then I've got Hamfest stuff scattered all over the garage too, so I've got to get all that together into the car for the Hamfest. But I'm pretty excited about that. I'm trying to sell and give away as much stuff as I can. And then after the fest, we should be at we will be at the town bar on the south side of Jefferson there. Town bar is always a good time. They're usually all set up for St. Patrick's Day, and I think everybody will be in St. Patty's mode with one day to go on it. And being on Monday, everybody's going to be celebrating on Sunday, probably. I will be. And I have a nice new name badge that I'm going to wear, and hopefully people will be able to find me. We didn't get the same tables we got last year. I don't know how. Somebody swooped in and took all the tables along the north wall there. So I think we're over in the middle now. That will say to me that I won't have any electricity, but don't usually need it. Not to worry about that. But yeah, everybody sounds good. Glad to hear Dave. Glad to hear you, Steve. Steve, I heard you on WQ9A just before the net. Been listening over there lately. And my radio timed out. How about that? So I'm talking plenty enough. I think I'll turn it right back. N9CXK over.
All right, thank you, Carol. Fine business. Yeah, the ice fishing is probably as done as you're going to get. I have a handful of coworkers who are avid ice fishermen, and I think they're all done, as far as I know. But yeah, I don't anticipate getting that much winter weather anymore. We may get more snow, but we're not going to get enough cold to make any more ice, I would expect. And the auroras. I look out the window every night, but due to work, go to bed so early these days, I miss all that stuff anyway. So I did not know anything about it till the next day. Didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything about it. I guess I wasn't reading the right things. So I did miss it. But I probably would have anyway. Sorry to hear about your dog, but I guess it's good that she's doing better. That can be a stressful thing. And St. Patrick's Day. I guess it is that time of year. Haven't done anything for that in a very, very long time. Those days are kind of in the past for me, at least for now. And seems to me there was something else I was going to comment on here. Oh, I too need to clear out some things, but I don't have anything ready to go. I anticipate when I do get around to rearranging things in here, getting together some things that I do need to get rid of, and hopefully having that ready for the South Milwaukee Swap Fest. But very likely none of that will happen. I will not get that far. And I honestly don't know how much stuff I have that's even worth trying to sell. All of the things that I've sold in the past are things I regret selling, but I don't think I have anything like that to get rid of at the moment. I do have a 2-meter all-mode rig, which it's kind of a joke. It says all-mode all over it, but it does not do AM, which is why I need to get rid of it. And unfortunately, I paid a fair price for it when I got it, and the value of it has gone down to nothing since then. So I have not sold it, but it would be nice to just get rid of it at this point, I think. And you mentioned doing things outside. I guess I didn't think to mention that. I don't remember if I told you guys that my son drained the oil out of the transmission in my car a couple of months ago. I had put gear oil in there, which is what the manufacturer of that transmission recommended. And 5 years after they recommended that, they changed their recommendation to ATF for precisely the reason I should have put ATF in there in the first place. When we had that very cold spell, that oil turned to probably like syrup. And it's not like a traditional gearbox where the gears just splash the oil around. It does have an oil pump, and that pump is not able to pump that stuff at all, and it did do some significant damage to my transmission. Not bad enough to do anything about it, but it's very whiny now. It whines a lot, which is unfortunate, but now I was able to, with the warm weather, I was able to put some ATF in there, and it even seems a little bit quieter. So hopefully I don't have to worry about that again. And next we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay, good evening everyone. And Jim over there must have done something since the last time that he checked in, or last time that I remember him checking in, because his signal is much louder over here. And that's always good. Yeah, I was in the QSO party Sunday. I worked GMT on 80 and 40. And I see that those guys were at the very top of the scores of everyone that uses the N3FJP software. I don't know if you know about that, Steve. There's something called Hamdash. It's a website that all the data is uploaded real time for everybody using the software. And so you can see what everybody else is doing, or how bad you yourself are doing. That's usually for me, because I'm toward the bottom of any of these things. What did I do? I did 37 counties, which actually is pretty good for me. Mentioning Aurora stuff, I didn't know about any recently, but in some of the garbage ads that show up in the browser as might be looking at other websites and things, I remember seeing, I've seen this a couple of times now, some travel agency or somewhere putting together special Aurora tours, or here, we'll take you up to the northern never reaches there and give you a chance to see what the Aurora looks like. I have no idea exactly where or how much or any of that, but I saw those ads. What else here? I will not be at the meeting Saturday. I'm still working my way back to whatever full functionality is for me. Not very bad. I still do therapy twice a week. I'm now pretty much walking unaided. It's not a pretty walk, but nonetheless. Stand by just a moment. I don't go in and change the timer in the menu there. What else is coming up on the calendar? WPX contest is in 2 weeks. Oh, talking about Hamfest and things, yes, I will not be at Jefferson either, but never miss a chance to publicize something that I'm trying to unload stuff at. But those of you not going to Hamvention in May, the free in the parking lot at HRO Hamfest or Swapfest that leads up to the normal May MRAC meeting, but the May meeting is always an auction. So, and we don't charge any kind of fees or anything for the auction stuff. Of course, donations are always accepted, but anyhow, that comes up in May, like I say, for anyone not going to Hamvention. I forget now how many years we've been doing that. Other than a couple of COVID years, I think it might be about 10 years. I have to look that up. That's enough for now. So, we'll send it back to Nat. This is WB9 BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. And I want to say it has not been quite 10 years, but I could be wrong. I unfortunately still think of myself as only being licensed for 10 years, which would make it not possible. But I guess it's been longer than that, so my point of reference there may be wrong. But trying to think, but it was definitely when it was still AES, but I don't think it's been quite 10 years yet. Like I say, I could be wrong. And the Aurora tours, that's not really something new as far as I know. I remember hearing about that stuff about 25 years ago. Maybe even longer than that, back during that solar cycle at the time. And the place to go then, where they were going, was the Lapland in Finland. I would assume that during COVID that came to a screeching halt, and maybe they don't go that far anymore. But I really have no idea. I don't follow that. I have not heard or seen advertisements for that since 20-some years ago. But yeah, that's or at least used to be a common thing. A lot of people do that. In fact, now that I think about it, I think there was another group that was taking people to Alaska just for that. And I presume you were talking about the Wisconsin QSO party over the weekend. I guess I didn't even have that on my calendar. But I would not have been doing that anyway. That was the first weekend I've had off in months. I did not work. I could not work, or they have cut our overtime. But we spent the day outdoors walking around, so I would not have been on the radio anyway. Unfortunately. And of course, the only radio I do these days is this net, unless something here changes. Speaking of when it gets warmer out here, which it is, I should be trying to put my HF antenna back up. It has not fallen down all the way, but it is not where it needs to be. And I have the supplies to repair that, and I just have not done it. And we are at the bottom of the list. Do we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net? Come now, please.
W9 JCC, good evening, fellas.
And there we got Frank, W9JCC. Welcome to the net. Do we have anybody else? Hearing none, I will turn it right to you, Frank. It's good to hear you. W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, KC9UDX and an W9JCC. First of all, thanks to Steve for doing the QST, or I would not be down here tonight. I haven't been putting this on my calendar. The calendar's getting pretty busy. And I was just sitting there watching the boot tube for a little bit, and Steve gave out the call. I got down here, I think, probably just after he started. Probably just after you took the last check-in. So, I've been listening since Jim's been on there. Well, I wanted to ask Jim something too. I wonder if your son Tony ever went over to Crunch Gym and checked out the weights they have over there. And everybody's got good signals. Strongest ones, of course, are Matt and Jim, both 4009. Steve, I think, is up there too, but I didn't write it down. But and Steve, your audio is really good now compared to the early days. Last couple of times you've been on, it's been really sounding real good quality. I'm hearing Carol and Dave about S8, so good copy on them. Not super strong, but can hear everybody okay. And Dave, I'm glad to hear you're getting along very well and progressing with the recovery from your surgery. And as far as changes to the AM shack, mine has not changed in decades, and I don't plan on changing it. I like it just the way it is. I probably dust it once in a while, but that's about it. I don't plan on getting anything new at this stage. So what you see on QRZ is what I've got. And I plan on going to Jefferson to cover with my grandson. And I think afterwards we'll probably go up to the Pine Cone. At least that's the tentative plan for that. So I don't have much more. I think I'll stick around for just maybe one more go around. I want to get out of here before 9 o'clock. So I will have enough time, I think, for one more go here. Back to you there, Matt. KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And I did not notice, or I did not turn the meter to see signal strength when Jim was transmitting. I presume he was pegging the needle just like you are, Frank. So I didn't switch it over. It's kind of a shame that this radio does not have an extra contact on the TR relay to do that. There's a manual switch. But I did get Steve at an 8, Carol at a 7, Dave at a 6 3/4, and of course Frank, you're at 10 or 10 plus. Out of 10. And I don't have enough more recent logs here to say that that's good or bad or whatever, but it's all fine. It's all working good. So. And Frank, I did think about you on Sunday because we were at an antique store. And my wife pointed out somebody's selling, I think, 3, maybe 4 of those gingerbread clocks like you were describing that I think you have. And with that, we're at the bottom of the list. I will check again if there's any more check-ins. Come now, please. All right, hearing none. Yeah, I don't think I'll be here any longer than 9 o'clock either, so Frank, you may be just good to the end of the net anyway. I have been going to bed at 8:30 due to my new work schedule, unfortunately. So I am technically now past my bedtime, although I do plan to be here till 9 o'clock. And there's no hurry. But we will go back to the top of the list. Jim, KS9Q, it's your turn from KC9UDX.
Okay, KC9UDX and the net. This is KS9Q. And, well, Matt, you've got, you're hitting me with about plus 25 here on the meter. And good, solid, clean, low background noise signal. You still get that distortion every now and again, but the last couple of transmissions have been pretty clean. And Frank, to answer your question, yes, we did get a chance to try Crunch. We did sign up. It is very nice. It is far and away more geared toward people who are seriously wanting to work out. The equipment that's available is it's very nice condition. A lot of different types of equipment. They've got a 40-yard sprint. They got sprint turf. I don't know how long they have room for. Did I say? I thought Tony said 40 yards. That's 120 feet. Could they do that in that building? Maybe. I'd have to check next time I'm there. And then they've got the recovery area where they've got massage machines, hydro massagers, and pretty cool stuff. So yeah, we were very favorably impressed. They will give you the pitch for personal training, and they did a good pitch for me. But I haven't been in a couple of weeks. I gotta get back there sometime next few days. I am planning to go to Jefferson. I've got some stuff that I could sell. I don't know if it's worth grabbing a table though, so we'll probably just go check it out and then head back. There was something else I was gonna comment on, and I can't think of it. The minute I let go of the button and the next one comes up, I will I'll remember what I was going to say. Carol, you said something about my signal. I'm using a better antenna. It's higher up. It's probably about 20 feet off the ground, and it's a tri-bander, so it's 220 and 440. But by far, it's in the best situation as far as coverage. So that's and we're also using I'm using the FT991A here, which is given about 20 watts carrier. So that does better than the little Icon does. Anyway, we'll turn it back to that. This is KS92.
All right, thank you, Jim. And indeed, you are just probably a hair under 10 on the meter here, not surprisingly. Maybe 9.9, I'll say. And well, my radio has been acting up quite a bit. I've just been trying to keep a real close eye on the meter here. I do have to deal with that, of course, someday. And I suppose that's something I really need to do here, is make a list of all the tubes that I'm looking for, so that when I go to a ham fest, I have that ready to go, because that always happens where I'm somewhere where somebody is selling tubes and I don't recall any of the individual ones that I particularly need, and I usually end up buying some just because I figure they probably might be ones I need, and it turns out I have a whole pile of them. So that's something I do have to do. That'll include probably a full complement of tubes for this radio, just because I don't think I have a good number of them. And I guess I've got to take inventory too. I've got a new, I bought a whole bunch of tubes at the MRAC auction the last time. So, I guess I'd comment on your gym experience, Jim. But I have never been to a place, well, I have been to the Wisconsin Athletic Club back when it was the Waukesha Athletic Club many moons ago, but I did not ever have membership. I've never done anything like that. We have a pretty impressive gym at my place of employment, which I do not use because I don't like to get all sweaty at lunch and then go back to work, and I don't like to stick around at work when I'm done working. And I do have some equipment here, which I rarely use. And next we'll go to Steve, N9FSE from KC9UDX.
I just heard part of Dave telling me that about the ham dash and the GMT and 80 and 40 contacts, so that was good stuff. And then my phone rang, and it was K0GB, and that's my brother with his new call sign in Colorado. So I had to take that call for a bit and spent a few minutes on the phone with him, and then I heard we had Frank in there, so it's good to hear that. Just a little tardy and starting right down my signal level, so I got UMAT at 30 over. Everybody's 30 over that I got a number for. Jim, I got a 30 over. Again, Miss Carol's there, and Dave I wrote down at 30 over, and I'm sure Frank is really good too, but I didn't write down his numbers. My friends down in Walworth County sent me the flyer and an email here for the Free Fest. So Lions Free Fest Saturday, June 7th, 7 a.m. till noon. So often make that one too down at the same place down at Riverview Park in Lyons. So bring your own table as usual and all the stuff. www.wi9elk.org it says. So maybe we'll see some of you. Maybe we'll get down there and see Carol again. we often catch him there. And also, what is it? April 26th, I think, is the Cedarburg Swap Fest. So I'm planning to do that. I don't know why I'm taking it so personally, but it seems like the guys in Madison finally figured out their date, but I don't know if it's all they could do, but they picked the same date as Cedarburg, which of course announces theirs on the well in advance, over a year in advance, if they had it on the flyer like they have next year's on their flyer. So those are some of the ones I'll mention here. I keep a full list on my our Swap Fest listing on the Mars Wednesday Night SwapNet, so join me there, or if you have any questions, call me or email, and I'll dig it out. Of course, ARRL does a pretty decent one, too, but I hear they don't have, they used to, I think, but they don't have non-sanctioned Hamfest on the ARRL website anymore. Oh, but speaking of good stuff from ARRL, I was almost thought it was an April Fool's joke. I went to the Repeater Book website. It says they're going to be powering the 2025 ARRL repeater directory, which for Wisconsin and many other places just hasn't been right for over 20 years, if you ask me. So that should be an improvement there. And I like the repeater book stuff a lot online and the phone app version. And copy down all the good stuff from Carol. So hopefully Doggo's doing all right with the meds, and like I said, I had a phone call, so unfortunately I missed some of the good commentary from Frank and half of Dave's, or maybe more than half of Dave's stuff. But back up to net. This is N9FSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. I want to say I've been to Free Fest once, maybe only once. And I have never been to the Cedarburg one. Cedarburg, for me, might as well be on a different planet. I only ever normally go to Cedarburg when I'm on my way going somewhere up north or something. Although I did go there last year to sign a petition to get a politician on a ballot. But that was like a serious trek going up there just for that. And the repeater book stuff. I do use the app. I have not looked at it in I don't know how long. I have not been active on FM or using repeaters in a very long time, unfortunately. And a good portion of that is due to the fact that most of my good handhelds here have died, and both of the mobile rigs I have in my vehicles are not in operable condition. The Yaesu in my pickup is just a piece of junk. I will never buy another Yaesu again, I think, or at least not a newer one. That thing really angers me. But it also has a bad microphone cable now. Every time I would shift into fifth gear, I didn't realize that I was pinching the microphone cable. So I have to get a new cable just to be able to even use it, which I don't like using it. And the ICOM one in my other car, the volume control, in the process of cleaning out the volume control, I accidentally wiped away the graphite. So when you get up past about halfway, there's no graphite there anymore, so the volume cuts out completely. Unfortunately. And in that vehicle, I do need the volume all the way up. But it would be nice to get a hard copy of a repeater book. I do like the ARRL repeater book, but like you say, it's been kind of useless. I think I bought a new copy a couple years ago, and I was very, very disappointed. And with that, we'll go to Carol, N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the rest of you, N9CXK. Wow, good. Sounds like everybody's busy. Sorry you have to go to bed so early, Matt. Makes me tired. And Jim, I think that was Dave that commented on your signal, but I'd also comment on it too. I remember, was it last month you were switching, or you had switched between one antenna and another? And yeah, the antenna you're on now is really good. Your F9 on my 991 here.
Whole game is got better hard.
And I've got the big stick up there, the 20-foot long stick. So it hears pretty well. I don't know how well it transmits, but my watt meter shows me that I have right around 20 watts going out of here. So that's nice to see. And yeah, volume pot on an ICOM. Yeah, I have a 220 radio here I picked up, and the volume pot on it is garbage. It's almost completely unusable. And I went in there, and I could see somebody worked on it once before, but there are replacement volume pots with the on-off switch on them on Amazon. The only problem is I got to buy 10 of them to get one. But I think it was only like $10, so it's probably fine, but maybe I'll have a talk for you. I don't know. But yeah, the radio's almost, it's an IC38. And it's known that those pots go out, but this one is almost completely open, it looks like. I can get it to make noise every so often. It's pretty unusable. So I have to fix it. And yeah, getting things together for the Hamfest. Very excited about Lions. I love Lions. It costs nothing, and there's a bunch of people show up. The people that show up are diehards. They wanna buy and sell. So it's been pretty good the last couple of years. And Jefferson is, 20 years ago Jefferson had fallen down in the ashes, and now it's really back. it's really back. It's really busy. They usually sell out of tables, so that's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. And I was just looking here, and I see I have an antenna tuner that's for 2 meters and 220. I think that's going to the Hamfest. I picked that up, and I don't really need it at all, but I have other tuners that'll do 2 meters. I never tried tuning 2 meters on this 991. I don't think the tuner will work on 2 meters, but you never know. Never know. And the dog is fine, and the bald eagle lands in the trees here every so often by my house, and then sometimes we see the bald eagle sitting out in the middle of the lake on the ice pecking at something, maybe a minnows that somebody left out there or something.
Go to the right.
Bald eagle's pretty busy around here.
You just got to get on that platform
yeah,
without running
everything's
into
starting to look like spring here, and I guess that's the direction I'm going to head.
You got to get on that.
It is going to get cold, and it is going to get snow some more, but it won't be enough to worry about. The ground is warming up now. So, I don't know. Not too much else. Got my wife a new car. She has a 2022 Subaru Crosstrek now, and she loves that, and I kind of love that too. Really nice little car. Very easy to drive and very easy to park and maneuver. So that's what she wanted. And my Outback just keeps right on going, 210,000 miles, and it's not slowing down.
I like that.
Yeah, no, I guess that's about it, yeah. I'm looking at antennas around the yard here, trying to figure out, well, what else I can do. There's going to be a lot of ladder work involved. Ladder work and putting anchors up in the trees to hold my long wires and things up there, but should be good. Should be good. And, yeah, Matt, I've had 3 of those all-mode 2-meter radios that don't do AM. I have a fairly new one now, 751 Kenwood, and it's a wonderful radio. It's the hottest receiver. But yeah, it doesn't do AM. I wouldn't have thought that would have been so terrible to put in there. I guess maybe so.
You're not supposed to run into the side of it. You're supposed to stand on top of it.
St. Patrick's Day, I don't drink anymore. I don't drink. I might have a drink here and a drink there. I told the doctor, I said, yeah, I drink 3 times a year. So that's about it. But we go down to the town bar, and they have just excellent hamburgers, excellent pizza, wonderful atmosphere there, and yeah, and there's plenty of beer for the people who want to drink it. Maybe I'll have a Bloody Mary, who knows. KC9UDX, N9CXK, over to you.
All right, thank you, Carol. And I will say that St. Patrick's Day may be mostly about the beer, but it isn't all about the beer, so there's plenty other things to do. Of course, there's always good food. Excuse me. And, well, everybody I know that's buying a new car is buying Subarus, so there must be something to that. I would not buy one, but then that's not anything against Subaru. I would not buy any new car, I don't think. If I had the money to buy a new car, I would probably buy 10 old cars. Or buy 1 old car and spend the money on something else. I think the reason Jefferson has come back is because it's still there. That's my opinion. And it's a shame we've lost some of the other ones, but it's a good thing we still have the ones we have left. If I could get 10 of those volume pots, if it was the right one, I would get it. When I looked at getting one for the radio that I have, and I do not have the model number in front of me, I could not find it anywhere. And I was able to find other people searching for them, and nobody could find one. People were putting in different ones, and I did not want to do that. I did not want to add anything external. But maybe the one you found on Amazon is the right one. I have no idea. If it is, I would be happy to buy 10 of them and give you the one or whatever. And with that, we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP from KC9UDX.
Okay. And yes, I agree with you, Matt, on the comments about Jefferson. That is probably the case. As you know, West Dallas is gone, and the Hamfest that we were doing is, I'm not going to say it's gone, but it's not here. I'm not even sure. No, and Friendly Fest, I think they canceled last fall. I don't know that I don't know what their plans are. So, yeah, they are. They do kind of, or it appears that they're disappearing. And the advantage of being the guy that writes or keeps track of all the history stuff for MRAC, and that I have this book. That small commercial is free to download off the club website. It's the 2019 version. It's up there. I've been working on it, the revision, which used to be every year, ever since 2019. But it is close to actually coming out, 25 version, which currently is 270 pages. It's a little smaller on the website. But 2016 was the first of the not going to Dayton parking lot Hamfest. And it's interesting that it was 2016, May of 2016, because that very same year, in July, AES went out of business. So I guess we got lucky to slip in there while they were still there. And then HRO has decided to continue to allow us to do that. I'm sure they make some money from people that drift in. But anyway, that was the first year that we did that. So it's not quite 10 years. Yes. And talking about being a new ham or relatively new and stuff, you have a KC9 call. We are now, since about the beginning of the year, maybe even the end of last year, we are into the KE9. In fact, there's a couple, I usually check into the MSOE net on Monday nights, and there's 2 or 3 in the club down there that have just recently got licensed, and they're KE9s. I'd have to look it up to see where they're at. Suffolk. Oh, there is my timer there, so I'm still here. I'm just looking here. I can't see. KE9Cs for sure we're into, so they've been turning them out around here. What else? Oh, repeater book stuff. Yeah, the URL book hasn't been right for some time, or around here. I don't know if it's been right anywhere, but in fact, I got a free one for some reason. I think it was about a year ago or so, and I was able to sell it off at a Hamfest for a couple of dollars. For somebody who doesn't know the backstory, I guess. Anyway, before I start to babble too much, I'll better turn back to that. This is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. And I do remember going to the first Not Making Dayton Swap Fest. I stopped there on my way home from work, and I had only been working there a couple of weeks. I remember that very well now that you mention it. And it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. It sure doesn't seem like it was that long ago that AES went out of business. That just doesn't seem right, but it has to be. And there was something else I was going to say here, but I think I distracted myself and I neglected to write it down, unfortunately. But we are getting here short on time, so I'll go right away to Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Thanks, Matt. KC9UDX sending up W9JCC. And Matt, just curious what the guy was asking for those clocks that you saw. I don't know what mine is worth, but it's pretty old. It's been in my wife's family for a long time. And I too get the better of them. I'm usually thinking about hitting the cycle about this time. And fine on the gym there, Jim, the fitness center over at Crunch. They did all new equipment, of course. I signed up in December, just before Christmas, and all the equipment is new, so it's all in pretty good shape. And they do have a lot of weights. I don't use the weights too much because at gym, the fitness center I used to go to where I used to work, one of the staff dropped a weight on the top of her foot, and it took 6 months for her to get back to normal. I said, well, I'm going to stay away from the weights. I don't want to drop anything on my foot, so that's one reason I don't do too many of those. But I usually do all of that whole lineup along the main aisle there, the 30-minute thing. I do all of those, plus a bunch of others on the main floor there. But usually about an hour or so. And as far as ham radio, I've been doing 40-meter AM up several times a week. And basically the equipment that gets almost all the use, about 90% of the use here is the 1955 vintage AM gear. So that's what I've been using. I got the other stuff. My newest gear is vintage too. It's 1992, but it's somewhat more modern. And I think Jefferson is well organized too. I mean, you go to get tickets on there, you do it all online. They're really good, responding and everything, and getting you the tickets. They give you a layout of the gym floor there, and where all the tables are, and what your table is, and your name is next to it or on it. So it's pretty cool. Okay, I don't have too much more to say. I'm glad to bump into you guys tonight. And everybody have a good evening. And I'm going to say 73s and turn it back to Net. KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. I will say 7-3 to you. And again, it's good to hear you here. Look forward to having you here next month. And I do not know what they were asking for those clocks. I would not normally say that an antique store has a good price on clocks. They're always way overpriced. And I wouldn't call myself a good appraiser. I do have a lot of clocks. I have bought and sold a lot of them, but I guess I can't say off the top of my head what any given one of them is worth. I know what I usually would pay. But I usually, when I buy them, I usually buy them in a state of disrepair, and then I fix them. So I don't pay the price for something that is in better condition usually. But I just off the cuff, I would say, depending on the condition, anywhere from $80 to probably $200 for that type of clock. But again, I'm not 100% sure. Probably the best thing to do would actually be, just like everything else these days, to check for current market value. Go on eBay and look for ones that have sold. And of course, throw out the highest and lowest ones, because those aren't going to be accurate, but the ones in the middle are usually what market value pretty much is these days, unfortunately. That's the unfortunate thing about eBay, since we no longer have local markets for old things. We pay California prices for things now, locally. Anyway, we'll go back to the top of the list, and we'll call this the 7-3 round. But take your time, no need to hurry. Your first, Jim, KS9Q from KC9UDX.
Okay. KS9Q returning. The other thing I was going to say before, Matt, you mentioned winter activities like skiing. We've had our snowshoes on a grand total of once. About 3 weeks ago, the snow was in sufficient quantity and in good enough shape that we were able to get out, and I don't know that we're going to get another decent snowfall before spring rolls around. And we might. We usually end up getting pounded at least once in April, but that has a tendency to disappear rather quickly. But we'll see. Might get a little surprise. You never know. It feels a little gypped because we didn't get much in the way of winter activities. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the report from here. Let's say 7-3. Good hearing everybody. I got good signals all the way around. And Carol, I think you said you were on your 991A. Your audio seems to be down a little bit. I don't know where you have your mic gain set. I'm running the 991A with mic gain set at 50, and that seems to be about right. I don't have it on the scope right now, but it seems to. I think it's as close as I can get it anyway, without having a definitive reference. Anyway, fine evening to all, and we'll say 7-3. This is KS9Q. Back to net.
All right, thank you, Jim. We'll say 7-3 to you. And snowshoes, I have never done that, but I just from watching other people do it, can tell you don't have to have very good snow conditions to do it. Just have to have a lot of snow. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had enough snow to do that again. And there will probably be enough snow that Lapham Peak will be open for skiing. It might still be open now. I don't know. I have not checked up on that. Of course, they make their own snow there. It might be too warm for that now, but well, before I go on a rant here, we'll go next to Steve. It's your turn on the 7-3 round.
All right. And taking Frank already, I did hear his 7-3, so I don't figure he's listening anymore. But if he is, 73 to Frank, and everyone else leading up to me here, which is Jim. And that's why I'll also comment on that. We had a really disappointing January at the Club Ski Hill, and February only provided us for 2 weekends, and so we had 4 days in February, and then we had 1 day in December, which we should have did 2, but we only did the 1 because there wasn't so much interest on the Sunday, and spent that day in December sitting in front of a motor starter on a bunny hill tow, which we please report with some sharp eyes of additional club members. We pushed a little part back in, and everything seems to be super happy on that tow. But at least we got some skiing in, and I'll see what what we can do. Maybe there'll be another opportunity yet, but I'll probably be out of town when that happens or something. And then get these late storms. It gets to be a short fuse event, and it may not stick around too long, and sometimes we lose our mentioned earlier we may be on the process of losing our frost, although up at the contest site, we were, one of our guys was pounding in a post for a 6B TV antenna, and he only got this pipe down 4 inches because then it hit frost and wasn't going anymore. And that was Green Lake County. And my snowshoes are still probably up parked in the attic of the patrol room at the ski hill, so I didn't even get those on either this year, nor did I get on the skinny skis or a snowboard. But did have the regular skis out at multiple skis and multiple ski areas, and more of that still to follow yet before I call this season a wrap. But limited opportunities in this southeast Wisconsin area. And that's sort of bringing up southeastern Wisconsin. We'll segue into saying about the Jefferson being just being there. Yeah, I guess that's part of it. And sort of with the Waukesha missing, there's sort of not many opportunities through the winter. After November, there's nothing going on in this area of the state until we get to Jefferson. So it's sort of a extended period of dry spell, which makes it really goofy when Madison stacks theirs on the same day as somebody else. That's what I figure. But nice on a couple of new ones out in the La Crosse area. Mississippi Valley, they had theirs March 1, and didn't hear any reports, good or bad, out of there. And there's another Valley outfit doing another one coming up. Also on Alaska coming up in a month or 2 or 3 or something like that. But that's sort of out of position for me to go that far. Oh, and the guys up in Superior, they keep hanging in there that first Sunday in May, and there's still maybe some Eastern UP one, but odds aren't real high, but not impossible that I ever make one of them. Enough of my hopscotch skipping around and all that. Looking over the notes here. And I like Carol had on some of his last comments there. Good on the new vehicles and all mode radios that aren't all mode. It's kind of funny, and it makes me happy that I made a pretty decent choice, in my opinion, on this ICOM 706 Smart 2G, which is all mode, compact and many bands, and it was nearly one of the top 2 or 3 investments I've made in ham radio, I think. So can't go too wrong there. So we'll see 73, and maybe we'll have a comment after everything, but we'll send it back up to net. This is N9FSE. Over.
All right, thank you, Steve. I will say 7-3 to you, despite your regular ski comment. Or regular skis. I guess I have never in my life been downhill skiing. So I don't call those regular at all, but that's just me. And next, we have Carol. It's your turn on the 7-3 round from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX, N9CXK. All right. Well, Jim, just for you, I turned the audio up. I was running around a 33 on the mic gain. It's on 44 now. I did find that the radio, I think I remember after the last AM net, I had it up in the middle 40s here. So that's different because I can't run it that high on sideband at all. I have to be down 35 is about it on sideband. And I don't know about FM. I used it on FM a few times and nobody said anything, but I have a new microphone too, or another microphone. This is a Yaesu MD200, the studio-looking microphone here. So I don't know how it sounds. It seems to work fine. I had to fix one little thing in it, but seems to be okay. Okay, I don't know. I don't think this radio does AM correctly, but seems like I have downward modulation. Maybe. I haven't even thought about that in a long time. But anyways, Matt said something. Matt, your radio sounded good tonight. It had a couple little episodes of modulation that was changing, but the signal never dropped out or anything. It sounded really good tonight, I think. Just fine. And you guys are right. Jefferson is there because they hung in there, and I think that the Jefferson Fairgrounds are still giving them a reasonable deal on renting the building. I just don't know. So many hamfests go out of business, and I think mostly it's because they just can't make ends meet. And that's too bad. There's a lot of us, but a lot of us are getting older, I guess, and not showing up or whatever. I don't think hams usually patronize the food vendors too much either. I mean, a lot of times that food kind of creeps me out anyway, so I don't usually do that. I may have to bring the Bloody Marys again this time at Jefferson. Haven't done it for a couple hamfests because I just had trouble getting everything in place before the hamfest. So I think this time I'll fill up my big cooler and see if I can have some Bloody Marys out there. Oh, and I have my cross-country skis and everything all out in the garage, ready to go. But I spent most of my time ice fishing this year, and I didn't get that. And I had my snowshoes down too. They were by the door in the garage too. But it seemed like every time it was nice, I went out ice fishing instead. And several times I walked the dog all the way down our lake and back. That's kind of fun. That's a lot of fun. It's about I don't know, probably half a mile down to the other end and then a half a mile back. So that was a lot of fun, walking on the snow. But I didn't ski. No, I didn't ski. I really missed my days of downhill skiing, but I believe I got rid of every piece of downhill equipment that I had. I know that the boots, somebody took up residence in the boots for a while, so they had to go. I don't know if I might have a pair of skis left, but I got at least two nice pairs of cross-country skis and plenty of poles and things, and my snowshoes, and that's a lot more available to me. So, look at that. I let go of the key and brought it up again here. Didn't time out. And, I'm listening on WQ9A regularly. So hear some of those conversations. And Matt, I probably will spend the $10, get those pots, and I can give you one. I think it's a 10K pot. It's got a knurled shaft on it, and then it has an on-off switch tacked onto the end of it. Because the IC38 uses, it's a push switch. You push it in to turn it on and off. So it's a push switch mounted on the end of the 10K pot shaft. And there were guys who wrote in some blog somewhere that they just put a resistor in to fix the volume at a predetermined level. You could probably do that for your car too. Put it up there at 95% and just let her rip. So, I'm very happy with this. It's a cross needle Daiwa meter, and it works really nice. It's a nice big meter. So I'm happy with that. I was switching meters out here. My heat kit meter with the dual meters, that one kind of had some trouble, so I was trying to lubricate and clean all the controls. Still couldn't get it into SWR mode, but everything else seems to work, so maybe I won't fuss with it. It's old. It's older than me. And while you were talking, I was looking at my poor old copy. It's a 1946 December QST. And on almost every page in the magazine, they're selling the SX42 receiver. Every single place that sold ham radio equipment had an ad for the SX42 in there. It was unbelievable. But that's 1946 December. Oh my gosh, I just love looking at those old magazines, but nobody wants them. I guess I just end up throwing them all away. I have a couple stacks of those. So, that's it. I'm sitting here, and the clock that says Helicrafters, the Radio Man's Radio. Clicking away next to it. This is an inexpensive wall clock, but it has a very noisy quartz movement in it. So it's kind of clicking away. I guess this is time to say 7-3. Glad I heard everybody. Glad you were all here. Have a good rest of the week. I'll look for you soon. Look for some guys on Wednesday, some on Friday. KC9UDX, N9CXK, 73.
All right, thank you, Carol. And I was going to mention those Daiwa cross needle meters earlier. I had one here and I sold it, and that's one of the things I seriously regret selling. I really could use it with this radio. It would be very helpful. And I did find one for sale. Excuse me. That's probably even better than the one I had. But now is not the time to be buying stuff. And I cannot handle that sound of quartz clocks. I've got one that I had to take the battery out of, but I have to keep the clock. It's a WTKM promotional clock. So at least I think it is. It's something like that. Anyway, I will say 7-3 to you. And next we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP. It's your turn on the 7-3 round.
Okay. I guess just a couple things here. Just talking about the Daiwa meters. Yeah, I've got one here, one of the big ones. And here, one that's reading right now as I speak. Now, a couple of years ago, I borrowed a bird watt meter from someone with the appropriate plugs, and I found the calibration procedure on the net for the meter. And so I went in there and I tweaked it, and I guess it's right. Yeah, I've had that for, well, I don't know how long. You talked about new cars before. Just the other day, somebody else was talking about new car prices, and I looked it up at the time. I don't remember the number now, but it said that the average price of a new car is $49,000 and some odd dollars. So just a hair under $50,000 is the average price of a new car. Yeah. And skiing, I've never done any sort of skiing, but many years ago I broke my leg walking through a parking lot. And I found the last piece of ice on the concrete or on the asphalt. So I figured, hey, if I couldn't just walk across the parking lot, I don't know about skiing anywhere. 73 to everyone here. Good-sized net tonight. And that's always good to see, or good to hear, actually. So, until we meet again, or until we encounter any of you folks on other net contests or whatever, 73 to off, this is WB9BWP.
All right, thank you, Dave. We'll say 7-3 to you. And unfortunately, I was listening and not writing anything down because I was going to comment on something you said, and now I can't remember it. But I do have to get going anyway. I really have to get going. So, well, you did mention, yeah, we had 6 check-ins here tonight. It's been a while. I think we had 4 last month. I don't know when we had 6 the last time. It's been a while. Probably November or earlier. Anyway, I think I said 7-3. If not, I will say 7-3, Dave. And I will say this concludes the 2 a.m. net. Feel free to rag chew on this frequency after my transmission We will meet again. Why is my calendar not updated? Now I got to look at a different calendar. We will meet again on the 8th of April. Wow, it's going to be April already. Until then, this is KC9UDX 73, and good night.
Oh, Matt, just to be clear, we didn't buy a new Subaru. We bought a 2022 in immaculate condition, and I guess we probably paid half price. So, yeah, I bought one new car in my whole life, and it was kind of a lemon, a Plymouth Horizon in 1980. It was just a crummy car, but haven't had trouble since. This is our 7th Subaru, and really just don't have troubles at all. Used to be at the garage every month with my Chevrolets, which I love, my Chevrolet Eurosport wagons. But yeah, I was at the garage every month, or every week, not every week, every month, with something that was going bad. So I don't feel bad about that. I can just forget about these cars for a long time and just keep on perking. There was one other thing. I don't know what it was. Would you just tell me how my audio sounds now that I turned it up loud?
I would say you're still kind of quiet. I would say marginally better than before, but it's hard for me to tell because I'm always turning the volume up and down here. It's not objectionable. It's perfectly fine, but it is on the quiet side. And I will say, well, I'm happy to hear that you didn't buy a new car. I think that's a waste of money. And most people have experience. Most people I've known have had experiences like you did with that Plymouth. But do write that down for next month. We can discuss that Plymouth Horizon. I can tell you where you went wrong buying that. And I'll write it down too here, but I probably won't remember why I wrote it down. Anyway, I do have to go. I've got to get to bed. 7-3 Carol, KC9UDX.
All right, thanks, Matt. I turned the audio up to 50 like Jim said. How's that?
It is louder. You're not as loud as Jim, and I'm not sure how much of that is just signal strength. On AM, that does seem to matter. You have to have quite a bit of signal before your volume is independent from the signal. But you're not distorted that I can tell. Although it's hard for me to tell, I'm using the built-in speaker here. I didn't normally, but I rearranged things here and I can't plug the other one in anymore. But again, it's not objectionable, and it sounds okay to me. KC9UDX.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, I ran it up. It's at 50, and it's a different, I mean, he and I are probably not running the same microphones, so I have no idea what the response is like here. Go to bed. Have a good sleep. Talk to you soon. N9CXK 73.
I just got to put a longer cord on.
And I was going to mention that Frank was booming in here at 60 over. He's the only one I put the attenuator on for. And Carol, that's nice there at 50 and then some, so gives you the full audio of 33, and then they give you just a touch of punch. So good stuff there. And I also want to remind everybody, keep an eye out for that crazy storm system. Will probably be a rainmaker for us, and lots of wind coming with that Friday night into Saturday. I just also saw the ski hills closed, so if I want to ski, that's Sunday, but maybe it'll help close up long after the Amfest or something, if I even get up there then. But still a few sessions in there for me. 73, NIFSE.
Oh, very good, Steve. Yeah, I just don't know what it sounds like, but seems like, yeah, the audio isn't hurting anything here. And don't run it on AM anywhere else, so there you have it. Yeah, I think that ski hill's going to be up to your ankles on the weekend. I don't know.